Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be checking out Batman issue 139 by Chip Zdarsky, Jorge Jimenez and Jorge Corona. Finally free of the Gotham War, Zdarsky returns to the Zur-En-Arrh well as Batman begins hunting down the Joker, who has made a return to Gotham and is fittingly hiding out in an abandoned children's toy factory, baiting Batman in by killing the heir to the toy factory and setting up an elaborate murder scene. A murder scene which reveals to Bruce that the Joker has actually kidnapped one of his old mentors, making this a rather personal confrontation between the Clown Prince of Crime and the Caped Crusader. Bruce isn't in a good place thanks to Gotham War, isolating himself off from everyone in his family and living under a false identity. The mental decline of Bruce across Zdarsky's run has been one of the more interesting things he's been doing in the book, and I quite like how aware Bruce is of what is happening to him, but with aspects like Zur-En-Arrh stirring him up from within, it's been impossible for him to get a real grip on everything that has been happening to him. The Joker's resurgence further exacerbates the problem as while Bruce hunts him down through the trap-laden doll factory, he is plagued by Zur, who implores Batman to kill the Joker and end it once and for all. And of course, Joker has obviously kidnapped Bruce's earliest mentors, the first one being an old French woman who had taught Bruce how to be a cat burglar. I did like the touch that the aged mentor didn't actually need Batman's help at all, and they were kind of inconsequential to the plot. It was just more just to get Bruce there in the open for Joker, and I like that she managed to escape without Batman's help. Eventually, Batman does confront the Joker, and just seeing the villain is enough to trigger Zur to finally break free and take over again, leaving Bruce trapped in his mind with the multiversal Zur-En-Arrh. Now that doesn't actually make any sense to me whatsoever, since when Zdarsky wrote the multiverse story where Batman was pursuing Red Mask through the different Earths, and it's that which implanted the other world's Batman with the Zur-En-Arrh aspect of their psyche. It was all Batman spreading that across the multiverse. They weren't all inside Earth Zero Batman's head. I trust Zdarsky will explain it a bit more in the next issue when we pick up with Bruce in his own head, but right now it just feels like a excuse to see Michael Keaton's Batman or Adam West's Batman or the animated series Batman in the Zur-En-Arrh costumes again and get that, picture out there in the world and draw attention to the book. There is a lot of really cool imagery in the book thanks to Jorge Jimenez, who forgoes his usual superheroic action for more visceral horror-centric stuff. We get some creepy clowns, weird murder scenes, and a dollhouse that feels like it takes heavy inspiration from House Beneviento in Resident Evil Village. It's fittingly creepy for Joker, and I like that we're back to a more creepy Joker and not one who's a big bad supervillain trying to take over Gotham or anything. He just wants to fight Batman, and if he has to kill a couple of people on the way, he'll do that. Zdarsky also treats us to a Vandal Savage backup which picks up after his involvement in the Gotham War, and we learn Vandal, thanks to the Lazarus meteor that crashed to Earth in Gotham War, he cannot leave the city, as the further he leaves the city, the more his old wounds open and he becomes ill. So now he is effectively held prisoner by Gotham. Not one to sit around and mope, Vandal decides to take on Gotham itself and deal with the criminal element ruling it, albeit in a stealthy, discreet way so as not to draw the attention of Batman. This is really probably one of the only good things to spin out of Gotham War. Vandal is now being made a mainstay character in Gotham and is being turned into a threat who looks like is going to stick around for quite a while, which is great because usually when Vandal is used, he's used in like a big event or like an arc in a book and then just kind of disappears off the face of the earth, sometimes quite literally. So for him to be here in Gotham and always be sort of a looming threat that Batman and the Bat family will have to deal with eventually is quite an interesting take on it. And on top of that, of course, he is living in Wayne Manor and he owns Wayne Manor and the Batcave, so he's operating out of that, and it's seemingly implied that he's probably going to be setting up some sort of business as well, as at the end of the issue we see him take on a more sort of businessman attire and sort of lean into the whole playboy angle of his situation. So I'm intrigued to see what they're going to be doing with that, considering that we don't actually have that angle with Bruce Wayne anymore, at least thanks to the events of Gotham War. Zdarsky returning to his regularly scheduled programming in the wake of Gotham War is very welcome and much needed. He's making great use of the somewhat questionable things that were done during that event to Batman's status quo, and with the threat of Zur-En-Arrh and the Joker looming over everything, I think think we're in for some really fantastic storytelling, especially where he is taking the story with Zur-Anar taking the forefront. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. So if you jumped ship during Gotham War and no one should question why you did that, it was definitely the right move. It's definitely safe now to pick the book back up, since I think we're in for some really great stories over the next couple of issues from Zdarsky and his team.